Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for March 7, 2022. I really don't have too much to say compared to Saturday. It's only been 2 days since. Two things have changed, Jack, and you know what, to put it very simple. It's just the way it is. Sometimes you just have to let things progress. So let's have a look at the big picture. That is, we're going to review some monthly charts. I know the months are not over yet, far from it. I know a lot of dark clouds are gathering and all that stuff, but just review. It's always good to see the forest through the trees. All right, this daily stuff, it's all great. 9 out of 10 people get hung up on it and forget to understand what's the long-term trend. The trend is your friend, especially on the long term, because big gains come from having a big perspective. Small gains come from having a small perspective. So that said, this is Avalanche, and as you may remember, I can count it as 5 waves up, potentially 8 and 9 with one more to go. I really would like to see Avalanche, I would say, hold within this diagonal type of pattern, and that's at around $1.60. If it doesn't, we have completed already wave cycle 1 or 3, and then we're going to go back to about $10. Okay, so let's me put that option in there a little more clearly. So this can also be the cycle. There, and if we go lower, I really don't want to see it move below $1.60, then the odds increase that we're going to drop back here to support. It's not going to be a straight up drop. Nothing is, of course, straightforward. It's just going to be lots of twists and turns before it's all said and done. That we know. We've known it from the short term how excruciating difficult it is to forecast the short term. I hope you appreciated that slide I sent you to get people a good mindset. That is my entire goal. Get the right mindset on where we are and how to approach things. If you know where we're in, it's much easier to deal with. If you know you're in a correction, you know how to deal with it. If you think you're in a bull, but we're in a bear, you're going to be on the wrong side of things very easily. In bear markets, cash is king. Okay, in bear markets, as I said, he or she who comes out as the winner in losing the least amount of money is the winner. That's just the way it is. It's very, very hard to make money in long-term corrections because those long-term corrections are meant to destroy value. That's literally what's going on in bear markets. So moving on then to Binance Coin. Binance Coin might have done already all of the bounce. Okay, so here is the red target zone for the bounce, anywhere between 23.6 and somehow it doesn't get penciled in here, 76.4. And ideally, we want to see 50. That's the nice happy medium. It doesn't have to, right? The market doesn't owe us anything. So we can have already completed wave B, a very paltry 23.6% bounce. And that's it. It registers on the monthly time frame. So it's enough. And again, this can easily go to 300, 205. Below 205, then I view this as having completed a larger cycle wave. And I think we're going to go down to 25. That's the red arrow, okay? So that's very simple. It remains on track. I prefer still one leg higher to go. But from the monthly chart, I can't yet discern with certainty if that's the case. It's a matter of interpretation. How do you interpret the 18 high and the 18 low? Is this 1, 2, or is it 3, 4? Okay, that's the difference. I don't know yet. I count it as 1, 2 because that's the price information I have available. We'll know soon enough. Below 205, and I think that is a very strong support. As you can see, it was monthly closing basis. Here we got very close to it in the late spring, early summer of 2021. So we really have to be careful. And this is why you can't be how do you call it? Complacent. Okay, you can't be just complacent and think things will go up forever. They don't. Nothing will go down forever, and nothing will go up forever. But for now, again, we have technically done enough for the B wave. It doesn't have to go to 50%. It doesn't have to go anywhere, as long as that's the minimum retrace, and that's really it. I cannot know those retraces beforehand. Nobody knows. I do know where we expect 90% of all the retraces to occur into. That is it. And then that's the majority of all retraces. And then the market decides which one it wants to do. And so far, it only decided to do the minimum. It's very minimal, but that's just the unfortunate way that it is. There's just no way of knowing this. It's impossible. So you just set your expectations, and this is what we get. And then we monitor it and move forward. Same here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin can have completed all of its bounce as well. It would be quite disappointing. I would have expected a much bigger bounce, but we failed utterly at the weekly cloud. This is the weekly chart. Still, not all hope is lost. It can certainly bounce further. We can have a irregular B wave of a B wave, an A, a B, and a C. For now, things look dire. It's just all red on the weekly time frame. We are the most oversold as we've ever been. The money flow has never been this oversold. The MACD has never been this oversold. Full stochastics are at the total breaking point, so to say. It doesn't get any lower. The RSI 5 can certainly move lower. Let's watch for some positive divergence develop, and then we'll track it further along. And remember, there's many twists and turns possible in corrections. And corrections are simply the hardest to track. They're just very stormy weather. One day it's sunny, and then 2 days later it is snow, ice, and hail. And then within those snow, ice, and hail, you have beautiful weather for a little bit. That's pretty much literally the summary of Ice Age. Ice Age ages have very erratic weather. And that's simply what we have to deal with. We knew we topped, that's for sure. We knew we topped for this larger third wave. Now we just have to let this fourth wave unfold. And that's why on a daily basis, it's fraught with uncertainty and it's fraught with mistakes. That's why I really want to zoom out. Okay, please know that it's impossible to forecast exactly where it's going to rain in very severe storms. You just have to deal with it. And in the sense of knowing that that is the environment we're in. I know it's a story, but please, it's a mental game we're dealing with. And for now, it's hard to really pinpoint exactly where things are going because you have this highly variable price action. Again, if this is all of the B wave, then it failed utterly to reach what I would really like to see it reach. Can it still subdivide? Yes, it can also still subdivide. I cannot tell you the difference. I wish I could. I wish I had that crystal ball. I don't. Sounds like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I know those are the options we're dealing with. Those are the options we're dealing with. That's the environment we're in. It's an environment of uncertainty. And honestly, this is a fantastic environment to watch and learn because it gives such a strong foundation for when things get easy. Everybody's a hero in the bull market. The bear market separate the men from the boys. Okay, so it's your decision. You want to remain a boy or you want to grow up and be a man. I have to go sit through it for many, many years to go. And I think that's a fantastic experience. And I'm glad to be allowed to sit through this and to learn from it. I can give that knowledge to you. So for now, uncertainty abound. Is this all of wave B already? Or is it a regular flat? It means we had a bounce, then the bounce of the bounce, so to say, or the drop in the bounce goes lower. So many paths to go. Here's another option, as you know, we're tracking, and that is that we are in this larger flat cycle 4. We had the A wave down, we have the B wave up, and we're now subdividing lower for this wave 5 of CO4. Okay, and I think this chart continues to be a fantastic trend example. Just look at what each arrow is. Every day you can update this chart one day further forward. Is the trend over 1 year down or is it over 1 year up? Right? You just go back 1 year in time. So the red arrow simply shows we're down. So this suggests that the long-term trend is currently down. So that's not a good environment. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's what it is. Before that, between March 7, 2020 and March 7, 2021, this was a uptrend, good times, easy peasy, okay? You just buy and hold, fantastic. This not so good. It's just what it is. And we have potentially an A, a B, and a C. I can make it 5 waves lower, also good with me. This is of course the daily time frame, and this looks like a complex wave 4, also fine with me. Again, we need to break above 44,000 to get any upside going, and if we break below 34,000, we can easily go to 24,000 with support here at around 29,000. All those things remain the same, but I think this is a fantastic chart that one can update every single day to see what's the market environment in. This is a bear market environment. This is a bull market. Every day you would move this green arrow, pretty much it would still be moving higher, right? Even if you went all the way into July, from July here to July there, still an uptrend, and you kept moving it higher, and eventually it's tilting lower. It's like a odometer or a brake pedal, and eventually you see it just go from positive to negative, right? It swings from positive to positive. Eventually it will turn neutral, because at some point where you're a year in, the trend is completely flat, and then eventually the trend will go negative. So it's very, very simple. It's like an odometer, and you can see really how things are moving, and it gives you a very good perspective on where things are. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum as well, not very strong. I really would have liked to see this A, a B, and a C like this. We've done pretty much the minimum bounce requirement. I can draw it in as well. It's around 38.2%. It's not what I would like to see, but it is technically enough. There you have it. It's about a 38.2% retrace. So that was the low. And that's all we got so far. 38.2% retrace. So this B wave can still go all the way here, and then we can still get the C wave, right? All we go by is initially textbook. I can show you for the financial market as well, where wave 3 exactly hits the 161.8, wave 4 exactly hits the 100%, and wave 5 is then going to extend to the downside. It happens. So the general path remains the same. So we can still go all the way here, and then we can still go all the way here. We can still go back here again, and then we have a flat wave B. It's very possible, okay? Or you get an extended. We don't know yet, so the intermediate term remains uncertain. We're starting to see some positive divergences. We're extremely oversold, but please keep in mind here as well that when the money flow is as oversold as it is now, the only example I have here that's reasonably similar is that we are continuing to go lower. That would fit with the halving cycle. We know for Bitcoin, I tried to pull up the chart, I couldn't find it, which suggests that we should finally find a bottom somewhere this summer. The only other time is where we had a very oversold low from a money flow perspective is here in late 2016, and then a nice bull run started. Here we see in 2018 that we were getting closer to a new bull market, but you can also see how long it takes before you get back to break even. That took almost 2 years. Okay, so please keep that in mind. We were extremely oversold. The MACD has never been this oversold. We might get some potential positive divergence as well. But also here, please remember the trend we're in. We're starting to get below the cloud. Moving averages, we're still above the 200-day moving average, but we're not of the week moving average, but not above this one. We're not above the 10-day. So the trend is really not so friendly anymore. So that is an unfortunate story. There is, but we don't make the markets. We simply listen to them. And if we're in a bounce, bounces are highly unpredictable. Solana, here we have Solana. Looks like we're in a subdividing wave C lower. I honestly don't think we're going to see a primary 5 in Solana. I think we've completed a cycle 1 because the drop currently is in my humble opinion, too deep. So I'm going to update this as a 3. Remember, this is similar to, I think it is a Binance Coin. It was, if this is a 1 or a 2, or versus a 3 or a 4. You just simply don't know until after the fact. That's just the way it is. And I think this is 5. The retrace is simply too deep. And then we should update this there. But after cycle 1 comes cycle 2. Well, we even don't know if this is cycle 1. It can be 3, it can also be 5, who knows? Doesn't really matter. But you simply cannot know the difference. I know it's a lot of no, it doesn't know, doesn't know. It's just the way it is. There's sometimes simply no answer to every single question we have. And I wish it was different. But we can easily drop here to $60, as you can see. There's nice support here at around that level. And then we'll see again. So it looks nice for a subdividing wave C. And we might get some sort of ending diagonal wave 5. Wouldn't surprise me. And then on Wednesday, we go back to the shorter term charts and review them. This is Ripple. Also looks like it has completed a bigger rally and is now correcting an A, a B, and potentially a C. I'll fill that chart in later. Luna is still, in my humble opinion, the only bull game in town that I can find, in the sense that I really prefer another leg higher. This wave 4 here doesn't have to bottom here. It can drop all the way to the previous wave 4 as well. There are some obvious negative divergences going on. So this wave 4 can easily drop all the way here. Okay, it can all the way go back all the way to 5. Yes, it can. All the way from 55 to 5. It is still very possible. It doesn't have to bottom here. Okay, so we can have multi-months of corrections before we see the next leg higher. So please keep that in mind. And of course, Polygon, MATIC, I still like it where we should see this primary 4 down to about, what is it? I think 80 to 60 cents, somewhere around there. That would retrace this entire ending diagonal wave 5 for this primary wave 4. And then we get primary wave 5. That is still my preferred point of view. Alternatively, of course, all of wave 5 of cycle 1 has already completed. We'll know that if we go below 60 cents. I don't want to see price go below 60 cents. So you can see we're definitely in uncertain waters at the moment for most of these cryptocurrencies. And that's unfortunate. I really like certain waters, but that's just the way we're in. This is what we're in and what we have to deal with. So let's see if Bitcoin can hold this 34,000 level of support. And I know it's not as maybe as great as an update as I had before on Saturday. It's just the way it is. I cannot always give groundbreaking new information. But remember, in bear markets, there's downside surprises and upside disappointment. And I think so far this year that has been utterly the case, especially with Bitcoin, as I mentioned, two 10% corrections, and we've gone nowhere. That I think is really a classic hallmark of a bear market. So please expect lower prices and don't expect higher prices. If you have your expectations right, you won't get as much disappointed. And again, I wish it was different, but it's just not the way it is. So thank you so much for listening. I hope I can provide a little more detail on Wednesday. It's just not much to say compared to Saturday. It's just unfortunate. With that, thank you so much for listening. Take care, trade safe, and I see you on Wednesday. Bye.